Hey guys, today I'm going to talk more about World War III and the number coding from the book of Revelation. And we're going to look at time, and then we're going to look at the dates of 12/22/2019. And we're going to look at that as a time. Then we're also going to look at the date of March 31st, 2020. Also that date, or those numbers, in the context of time. And I mostly want to concentrate on this 477 again, because 477 minutes is 33.13% of a day. And if you remember back from this past July, I had showed you that the Georgia Guidestones were completed on March 22nd, 1980. And at 12/22/2019, that was 477 months. Back to our time connection here with this 477 minutes and the 3313. And I also showed you that the same 477 connection is with the coining of the term World War III in Time magazine on November 3rd, 1941. So there is a definite connection with this 477 and 12/22. And 12/22/2019, I've been showing that as World War III for quite a while now. But it's going to be the last stepping stone before 3/31/2020. And if we look here, I have 3/31/2020. I have the time here. There's 1,009 minutes from 3/31 to 2020, and 1,009. The 1,009th prime is 8011 for a Revelation 8:11 reference. And this is where we originated our 3313 with our position of Revelation 8:11 in regards to Revelation 6:12, the great earthquake, and Revelation 9:11, the angel of the bottomless pit. Going on here with my channel, I'm just going to do a few more videos. I'm going to keep it in this date range right here, mostly concentrating on March, especially March 25th, 2020 through April 5th, 2020. I'm just going to keep showing you guys these different dates that have special connections here to Revelation or the Great Pyramid, and also other special celestial alignments. January 13th is one I'll talk about again. That's when we have Saturn and the Sun come together. And then on March 31st, 2020, that's when we have Mars and Saturn come together on the 31st of March. And I'm going to base my next video all about World War III just on this alignment and how the United States Declaration of War is all about that alignment. The connection here with the 12/22 and the 3/31, the 331st prime is 22/21, which is simply the reverse of 12/22. And Revelation 22:21 That's the 404th and final verse of Revelation. Okay, I want to show you some more hidden 3313s, which is the 24th star number, in the gematria here, hidden in Revelation. I've talked a lot about Revelation 8:11. The total gematria value of Revelation 8:11 is 1377. But let's look at the 8th and 11th verse of Revelation. Then we're going to look at Revelation 8:11 and see if there's a connection here within the gematria, to see if there's something to this. 477 and our 3313 star number that we've been looking at. So I'm going to go back here to the 8th verse of Revelation. You can see it sums to 968. The 968 here. I'm going to add in the 11th verse of Revelation. So I'm just going to stop right here. So this is the 8th and the 11th verse of Revelation combined, and we have a 3393. If we take a look at the number properties, you can see here the first three numbers make up our 3313. And we have the 29 here at the end, the 10th prime. But we get our 3313 again with the 8th and 11th verse of Revelation. So now let's add in Revelation 8:11 itself to see what we get. And you can see if we combine the 8th, the 11th, and then Revelation 8:11 itself, it sums to 4,770, which is our 477. Our 477 minutes is our 33.13% of a day. Our time connection to Revelation. And to properly decode Revelation, you can see here right in the third verse of Revelation, blessed is he that readeth, and they that hear the words of this prophecy, and keep those things which are written therein, for the time is at hand. This is the first time time is mentioned. In the first chapter here, this is where God instructs John to write down what he sees. And what he's looking at is the sky. The angel that God instructs John to follow. We find out in the last chapter of Revelation that angel that he was sent was the bright and morning star, which is Venus. So time, celestial alignments are two of the main things we should be looking at when decoding Revelation properly. Also, the gematria of certain verses is very important as well, as you can see here. There's some more examples of the 3313 here. Then if we write World War III with the March 31st date, written as most of the world would write it, we get WW3313, the 24 star number. Okay, I showed you here on March 31st, 2020, we have Saturn and Mars coming together in conjunction. And I want to show you some more coding with the Wikipedia pages. This is the Wikipedia page for Saturn. And if we look at the revision history when it was first created, see it was created on November 5th, 2001. You can see here in the notes, it says updated solar system navbar linked to Mars. It's kind of a clever way to sort of code a Saturn and Mars conjunction. So let's go look at the Mars Wikipedia page. Of course, Mars is the god of war. If we look at this Wikipedia page when it was created, it was November 10th, 2001. And if we look at our 3/31/2020 date, you can see here it's 220 months and 21 days. This is a 22/21. 22/21, the 404th and final verse of Revelation. Another coded Wikipedia page here I want to show you. This is the wiki quote page for World War III. They have a bunch of different quotes about World War III on here. But I'll show you the revision history when this page was created. The World War III wiki quote page was created on December 13th, 2011. You can see from the creation of the World War III wiki page here to 3/31/2020, it's 3,031 days, another 331. So if we go back and look at this calendar I've made, I've talked about this before, but I've told you that each of these dates slides across. Christmas 2019, Christmas on the Julian calendar, the 12/25 date on the Hebrew calendar. Then we slide the 12/25 date over again, and that would be April 3rd. So we have basically here we have all these dates hit 4 different spots, and it's kind of weird, I guess, to think of it this way, but it's exactly how they coded it. Each one of these dates is repeating 13 days, then the 88th day, and then another 13-day interval. But I want to show you kind of a, I guess, a predictive programming or some hidden symbolism here with these four consecutive Christmas dates. I have this movie here, 4 Christmases. I was taking a look at it, and if you look here at the plot, it's based in San Francisco, and I've talked about that before with the Golden Gate Bridge being in San Francisco. There's a connection to the Golden Gate. I've talked about the Golden Gate being the Arctic Bridge in Hudson Bay. But this movie is set in San Francisco. It was released on November 26, 2008. And in 2008, that was a leap year. So if you look at November 26, 2008, which was the 331st day, to 3/31/2020, it was 4143 days. And this 4143 has a prime factorization of 3 times 1381. 3 is the second prime. And 1381 is the 221st prime. So that makes it 2221. Back to our 404th and final verse of Revelation. The 331st prime number. Also, if we look at this movie called Four Weddings and a Funeral, there's a connection also to the 2221. This movie was released in the UK on May 13th, 1994. You can see it was 117 minutes. $117 is 3 times 3 times 13. Back to our 24 star number. So if we look at that release date, 5/13/1994, you can see here that 3/31/2020 falls within the 1351st week, the 1351st week. And if you look at that number, 1351, (2221) in base 10 is 1351 in base 12. 2221, the 404th verse of Revelation, and in the base 10, or excuse me, base 12, 1351. And this 331 date falls within the 1351st week after the release of Four Weddings and a Funeral, which goes back to our calendar, our 4 Christmases. Let's see here. I talked a little bit about Yellowstone in one of my videos. Yellowstone Park. Yellowstone Park was established on March 1st, 1872. And March 1st, 2020 will be the 1776th month anniversary. And of course, March is the month of Mars, the god of war. This right here is a artist rendering of the minor planet or comet Chiron. And Chiron the symbol for Chiron is the key, as in the key of Revelation, the key to the bottomless pit. But if we take a look here, the discovery of Chiron was November 1st, 1977. And if we go to 3/30/2020, and we count the end date here, it's 2,213 weeks from the discovery of Chiron to March 30th, 2020. And 2213 is the 330th prime. The last orbital epoch for Chiron was September 4th, 2017. So we'll look at the same date. To 330, and that's 939 days to March 30th. 939, 3 times 313, back to our 24th star number. Encoded into Revelation here, the 3313. The 8th and 11th verse. And just for your information, this is the 331st verse of Revelation, Revelation 19:11. And I saw heaven opened, and behold, a white horse, and he that sat upon him was called Faithful and True, and in righteousness he doth judge and make war. I've documented many 1911s along the way on my channel. 331st verse of Revelation. Okay guys, I'm going to do the next video on just 331 and the United States Declaration of War in the context of the Saturn and Mars conjunctions. Then after that, I'm going to do March 25th, and how that date is related to the emergency alert system. I might take a look again at this January 13th date. There's still a lot of interesting connections here to this date. The 1231 on the Julian calendar, or January 13th, 2020. Take a look at this date as well, 4/5. There's some very interesting connections also. April 5th is 8/11 on the Islamic calendar. April 3rd on the Mayan calendar, 13.0.7.7.0. This is the third time we get a 1377 with the Mayan calendar date, the long count calendar. And what's kind of interesting is that the next time that we can get a 1377 is on Christmas in 2150. So Christmas 2019 is 131 years until we see the next 1377 on the Mayan calendar. But the last three 1377 alignments here with the long count were between May 2017 and April 3rd, 2020, a pretty tight time span to get three of these 1377s. Which goes back to our total gematria value, ordinal value of Revelation 8:11. Okay guys, that's all I have. Thanks for watching.